This presentation is done on the town of Gibsonton, Florida. What many people do not know is that Gibsonton used to be called Gibtown. Gibsonton started as a very small town with only 614 residents. The very first people to come to this area were what people call odd or oddities. It was the giant and his wife, the half-woman. They were very influential in this area at this time, running several small businesses. They ran the campsite, the bake shop, and the local fire department. What Gibsonton or Gibtown was known for was a safe haven for carnies and people who were considered odd. Unfortunately, the carnies do not have such a strong presence in the area anymore, although there are still a few around. This community has increased in the number of residents from 614 to 14,234. While the population has increased tremendously, the businesses and access to care is not increasing at the same rate. The only available grocery store and pharmacy in the area is Walmart. While Walmart is open 24/7, the fact that it is the only store in the area is definitely a downfall. In addition to being the only store, we actually have no acute care, long-term care, or any home health agencies in Gibsonton. Gibsonton is not what is considered structurally stable. It does not meet the needs of the community. It does not offer the necessary stores and resources that will help a community thrive. As mentioned, there is a lack of stores and healthcare in this area. Even though the neighboring town Riverview can offer these things, Gibsonton cannot. Without the neighboring community of Riverview, the residents of Gibsonton would suffer. Since there is a phosphate plant in Riverview, there are constantly large trucks driving in the local area of Gibsonton. This causes increased road breakdown, and when it is patched, it makes the driving worse due to the increased bumps and uneven roads. There is also only one bridge in and out of Gibsonton, which is old and extremely narrow. There are many people that fish off both sides of the bridge, and it makes it possibly dangerous situation. While there are several new homes being built, there is still a significant number of houses that are run down and not taken care of. All of these assessments could be because of the lack of resources that are available in this community. Current population, based on the last census, is 14,234. The only issues related to the population are the unemployment rate and the percentage of people below poverty line. The unemployment rate is at 3.8%, which isn't terrible. However, the percentage of people below poverty line is at 38.3%, which is incredibly high. In Hillsborough County, 1 in 5 people drink excessively, which increases the drunk driving percentage to 33%. Smoking in Hillsborough is up to 17%. Obesity is at 28% in Hillsborough. These findings are consistent with the findings in Gibsonton, Florida. Since there are very little activities in Gibsonton, it increases the likelihood of unhealthy behaviors like smoking and drinking. This community would benefit from more access to health care. The lack of primary care decreases the chances of preventative care. If this community had more access to health care, we could teach the members of the community about healthier alternatives. Gibsonton has very limited options when it comes to resources. As previously discussed, the only grocery store and pharmacy is Walmart. Walmart is decently priced, the pharmacy is open for extended hours, and the store itself is open 24/7. The problem is that it's the only option for the residents to obtain groceries and/or prescription medications. Gibsonton does not have any acute care like hospitals or urgent cares. Gibsonton also does not have any primary care offices. They also only have one recreation center, which is $10 a month. The hours are problemsome. They're only open from Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's important that we create a better physical environment that promotes good health for the residents. The lack of access to gyms and a place where you can take workout classes contributes to a steady decline in health. If there were more places that promote physical activity with better hours, this may increase and promote better health behaviors. Attaining a higher quality of life is essential. To do this, we need more access to healthcare, and this is the ultimate goal. Promoting healthier behaviors can be done by having more gyms and access to better food for this community. All three of these goals and objectives fit for this community because this community lacks all of the needed resources to thrive, and that's what needs to be worked on. There are no restrictions on the water in Gibsonton. The water is fresh and is filtered before going out to the residents. This community does have numerous options for waste removal and disposal. They have several days where you can bring certain waste to different facilities, and they offer an array of hours to do so. They also offer recycling, which is picked up once a week for no extra cost to the resident, which is very beneficial. Even though we have these great programs, there is a lack of vector control in the area. You actually have to go to neighboring towns and have them come out to your house. There are a few current environmental concerns with Gibsonton. As mentioned previously, the roads in Gibsonton are very torn up, which creates dangerous driving conditions. This is due to the numerous trucks that go to and from the phosphate plant just outside of Gibsonton and Riverview. The phosphate plant gives off a type of pollution called sulfur dioxide. This can actually cause the airways to become narrow, creating an array of breathing issues and shortness of breath. Even though this phosphate plant is not actually based in Gibsonton, it is right outside the town line. Just because it is outside the town line does not mean it cannot affect the residents of Gibsonton. Many community officials are difficult to find and are not easily accessible for the residents. However, on the plus side, the police officers offer an array of community programs which do make them easier to approach and easier access to. Unfortunately, there is no information that could be found for funding or budgets for Gibsonton, only for Hillsborough County. There are more community neighborhood-specific meetings, like HOA meetings, that end up being approximately 35% of the neighborhood population that do attend these meetings. There does arise some concern about the fact that there is little information on Gibsonton in relation to budgets and funding. There are many places and items that need to be improved in Gibsonton, and is unsure if these concerns will ever get addressed. So, the most important question, what does Gibsonton need? This community needs a primary care office. This is where healthier lifestyles can actually start. These residents need to be educated and followed by a physician that can help prevent sickness and unhealthy behaviors in the residents of this community. This community also needs an urgent care. With the lack of urgent care and any acute care, patients actually have to travel further to receive any urgent health care. This access can actually improve the health of the residents. Healthier food options are essential to the overall health of the community. Gibsonton also needs more fitness options and programs. Having a gym in the area may be beneficial, or even a yoga class offered outside for free to the community. It will not only offer exercise, but will bring together the residents of the community. Parks are always beneficial for the children and teenagers to get exercise and fresh air, ultimately keeping them healthy and away from unhealthy behaviors like sitting inside on the video games. According to an article by Nate Seltenrich, parks could be a way to improve health and switching the perspective to actually preventing instead of treating. It is said in this article that it can have many benefits, from cognitive to visual benefits. Meetings would also be beneficial for all the residents. It would bring everyone together and put them on the same page. Many people do not know each other as the town is growing larger and larger with more and more houses built every day. I organized the list this way because I feel like healthcare and healthcare education always needs to come first. Then after that are the tools to help everyone come together and maintain healthy and happy lifestyles.